Now, Cool J came into the picture because I had a friend named Dave. Well, I have a friend named Dave Molicio. And Cool J has a friend named Cal. His name was Cool C, Mellow C was his name. Mellow C and Dave Molicio had an argument about who was better between me or James. Now, or Todd. Todd and I, we didn't know each other. We haven't met, I didn't know of him. I'm not sure if he knew of me or whatever. But they argued this, that, and the other. So we agreed to meet at the spot called Roller Castle to battle. You know what I mean? We didn't even meet each other yet. We was like, F that. We just battled. You know what I mean? See which one of our friends are right, So we went to Roller Castle, Flavor Flav and Black Spectrum. They used to do the events there. And me and Cool J, we met, slapped five, but instead of battling, we compared notes. It's like we were both eager to get busy, you know what I mean? So we start rhyming before we supposed to do anything, just comparing notes, but we vibed. I was surprised at how similar he sounded to me, and likewise, because we both had a similar cadence. We both had the same growl, and we had that aggression, and our wordplay was serious, vocabulary, wordplay. And instead of battling, we became instant friends, man. It was like, yo, man, me and you together, that would be dope. That would be so dope. Now, mind you, at the time, his name was Jay Ski. You know what I'm saying? So he started coming around my way. I started going around his way. He was from St. Albans, St. Albans, Hollis area. And I'm from Lawton. It was about maybe a 20-minute to a half an hour walk because we wasn't driving yet. You know what I mean? We either had to take the bus or walk. And we preferred to walk, But, we started hanging out a lot. And then one day he came around the way and told me that he wanted to change his name from Jay Ski to Cool J. I was like, that's dope. That's dope, man. I mean, not dope. I might have said fresh. That's fresh, man. That's a fresh name, But I was thinking like, damn, he should have one of the nicknames like all of us got in Laurelton, We had Romantic Lover Snow, Lover Boy TC, Ever Loving Kid Ice, Lovable Little B, Playboy Mikey-D. Cool J was just Cool J. So, we was walking by a brew at this time. I was sipping my quarts, the 440s. And I think I might have said Ladies Love or something, but I know it just rolled off my tongue, and he caught it. He's like, what? I said, Ladies Love Cool J, because he always wanted the women to love him. He was just that type of dude. Like, he gonna get him a girl, you know what I'm saying? So, Ladies Love Cool J, and that's, he took it, and when he got down with Def Jam and all of that, they shortened it because they thought it was too long, so it was LL. So that's how that came about, you know what I'm saying?
Well, speaking of Def Jam, I was intrigued too. I had read somewhere a while ago that you had actually told him that it's yours, Tila Rock was yours.
Yeah.
Break down that story. What happened? How did you trick him on that?
Because I don't think he I don't think he knew, who it was, because our styles and our cadences were similar to that as well, because LL and me, we did the vocabulary and stuff like that. So I told him that was me, I don't know how I spelled TLAROCK, how that sounded like MIKEYD, but I don't think he believed me anyway, because LL, let me tell you, when he started coming around the way and he started hanging out in the places where we used to do the cassette tapes, he used to really read those labels, you know what I mean? And take numbers down and get addresses and all of that. So I'm pretty sure he read the Tila Rock, Def Jam, the Jazzy J joint, and he knew it wasn't mine and shit. But I did lie to him. I did tell him that. And, if we bring it up to him, he'll laugh about it now. It tickles him all the time. So, yeah. I said it. Tila Rock, I'm sorry.
So do you remember why you said that to him? Like why?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
I might have been sipping a beer, and I don't know why I would say that to him.
Okay.
Maybe I said it because I didn't think I'd get caught. You know, when you're young, you're real dumb, man. So, you know, but yeah, I remember saying that to him.
Okay. And then since LL and T La Rock were on Def Jam, what was your experience? Did they offered you a deal? They didn't offer you a deal? Like what was happening with you and Def Jam?
Well, what it was with the Def Jam thing, I wasn't really, my goals and dreams were different from Todd's. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really in search of a record deal or anything like that. I just wanted to be the best rapper in my neighborhood, and that's all I wanted. I just wanted to be dope, like the Clientele Brothers. I wasn't looking to be a superstar. And actually, I was rapping from my heart and not from my pocket. It wasn't about a check. You know what I mean? And L, where he is today, is where he always dreamed that he wanted to be, and he did whatever it took to get there. Like I said, he used to read the records and get the addresses and the numbers, and he would be on it. When he got his Def Jam contract, he actually told me that we could be the next Run-DMC. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people always say, yo, he left without you and he bit your style. No, he didn't bite my style. I said, when we met, we both sounded similar to each other already, okay? So he didn't bite my style, number one. Number two, he didn't leave me because he did offer me the position to be his partner. You know what I mean? But I declined, you know, because first of all, I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? I didn't want to put that work in. I wasn't ready to put that work in. You know, I just got my freedom from being sheltered, you know, by my grandparents and all of that. You know, I wanted to do what it was that I wanted to do. But Al, you know, he, like the Clientele Brothers, would rehearse and stuff like that. I wasn't with all that. You know what I mean? But he was. And this is what I tell people all the time. LL used to take his last $2 to get on the bus and get a transfer to another bus and go to whatever meetings he had to go to or wherever he had to be to elevate his career. Me, I take that last $2 and walk up to Papa Kim's and get me a 40 ounce and battle whoever was around, and I was good. You know what I mean? As long as I had the reputation on the street as the dopest battle rapper, I was good, you know? So that's that. And when Def Jam finally called, actually, they called me when I lived in Rochdale Village, and it was Russell Simmons that called my house phone. I don't know how he got the number, but he called the house phone. He asked me if I could come down. I was like, absolutely. He gave me the address, and I came down to see what it was they wanted to talk about. And it just rubbed me wrong, because at this same time, LL was already out there. I was on his heels because of the peer pressure in the street. You know, people putting that battery in my back. Oh, he's this and that. He took your stuff, and I'm falling for it. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't help having a 40 ounce to add that extra battery in my back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm falling for all of this. I'm making rhymes about him, and, you know, I battle him and blah, blah, blah. And like I said, we sounded exactly alike, because when he first came out, people thought it was me. You know what I mean? And then when I would rap and do my own thing, people used to tell me that I'm trying to sound like him. So it really, that's what kind of made us drift this way. So with the Def Jam situation, I felt that, because you got to remember, at that time, labels would sign other artists. Like, let's say you got a hot selling artist that sounds great, right? But now his fire is fizzling out. They would sign another artist that sounds similar to that one, but just be a newer artist. You know what I'm saying? So with the LL situation, because I sounded so much like him, I felt that they wanted to have me signed, put me on the shelf so I couldn't make no noise. And when his fire fizzled out, then they'd push me out. But if I would have did that, his fire didn't fizzle out yet, I'd still be waiting. I'd be an old man in a wheelchair waiting for his fire to fizzle out. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons I didn't go that route. And yeah, so that's that.
Gotcha. And you've mentioned drinking a lot. So, and I'd read that you battled with alcoholism and a lot of problems. When did you realize it had become a real problem for you?
I didn't realize it until I would say when my pops passed away. You know what I'm saying? When he passed away, it was like, I was drinking excessively. Now, mind you, I wasn't drinking liquor because I couldn't handle liquor. I was a beer drinker, but I could drink a lot of beer. You know what I mean? I buy a case of Coors Light and knock that out to myself. You know what I'm saying? But during my teens and all of that, it was the thing to do. So, I was drinking the 40s. I could have been doing other things. Like a lot of the people that I came up around, they were doing a lot worse than beers. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say no names or nothing like that. But but when my father died, it's like he held my hand and he died with his eyes open. So that kind of messed me up a little bit. I couldn't sleep. And I was working a 9 to 5 at the time. I was working at Kennedy Airport. So I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and be to work by 8 o'clock. But because I couldn't sleep, I would drink until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
So now I'm going to work. I didn't act drunk or nothing like that, but they could smell it coming out of the pores and all of that. And my attitude changed dramatically. So I lost the job and, things just started going downhill. I caught a DWI, but thank God I never got into an accident, knock on wood, never hurt anybody, but I realized that, this is out of control. So what I wound up doing was removing myself from that situation because I tried everything. I mean, I went to programs, that didn't work. I tried to find God, but I didn't find him. I found myself, you know what I mean, in my search. So what happened is I removed myself from the situation and moved upstate New York, fell in love. And they say love makes you do crazy things. Well, love is the reason I stopped drinking because I had a choice. I can either keep this woman that I'm in love with, or I can keep drinking and effing up. And you know what I mean? I really wanted her more than I wanted the alcohol. So now I'm 10 years clean, you know what I mean? And still with the same woman. And, the blinds are pulled off of my eyes and everything is good now, man. I'm like in the best space that I've ever been in my life,
Well, congratulations, man. That's a beautiful
thing. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, man. It's a beautiful thing you're able to do that. Now,
right.
Going back in time though,
Let's do it.
The thing I was always intrigued about was the Mikey-D and the LA Posse. So with that, many levels of that were intriguing and interesting to me. First of all, because Paul C was involved in that, part of that. So how did you meet up with him and start working with him?
Well, Paul C, I originally was working with a brother, same brother that LL talks about, Professor KB. That's Ray Romaine, which LL eventually started rapping with Professor KB's younger brother, Royal Rich. They were the Extravagant Three. But I was working with Ray Romaine, and one day the Clientele brothers, Eddie OJ and Will Seville, asked me and Johnny to walk with them to Rosedale. They wanted to take us to meet somebody, and they kept on saying Paul and how, he got a nice studio in his garage and he makes beats and he's dope. So we walked to Rosedale. It was about maybe a 2-mile walk from where we were at to Paul C's house. Now, when we got to Paul C's house, we heard the music coming out of the garage. We was vibing like, okay. So we get there and Paul comes out. We like, hold up. That's Paul? That's Paul? We couldn't believe it because this is the first time that we saw a white dude this deeply rooted in hip hop, and to make that type of sound at that time, it was unheard of. You know what I mean? So we were instantly like, holy sh! And we became instant friends, you know. And after that day, Johnny Quest and myself, we started going over there more often, and we started making demos and stuff like that. And the demos was dope. And this is right when he got with Mick at 1212, and he became an engineer up at 1212 Studios. So, you know, he was bringing me and Johnny Quest in there late night after everybody was finished with the paid sessions. He sneak us up in there. And now we getting to taste of real studio time. And it was just crazy. And so the LA Posse came about because Johnny Quest and me, we used to run with a crew called Boom Bash. Boom Bash, it wasn't a gang. It was a group or posse of youth that used to hold their community down. It wasn't guns. It wasn't chains and bats. These guys used to lift weights, be very muscular, and wherever there was beef, they would handle the beef. Johnny Quest and me, we were like the musicians of Boom Bash. So wherever we went, Boom Bash went. You know what I mean? And when we got our first deal, it was through Arthur Armstrong. He got us signed with Public Records. So they wanted us to come up with a name. Now, and they wanted the Mikey-D name to stand out in front. That's because of that, you know, the battle and the activity with the rhyme. You know, my name was already circulating, so they wanted to capitalize off of that, but they wanted us to come with a group name for the three of us. And we thought the group would be dope. We got one producer, he masters in that art. Johnny Quest was nasty on the Wheels of Steel. He masters in that, and I rap. And that was the group. So we wanted to be Boom Bash. We all agreed to that but you know, the label was like, nah, and you know, Armstrong, he knew what the involvement in the streets were with Boom Bash, so they didn't think it would be a good business move. So we came up with LA Posse. Anybody in Queens, from Hollis, on that side of Queens, Jamaica, Queens, they know when you go to Laurelton, they don't call it Laurelton, they call it LA. You know what I'm saying? LA Queens, that's Laurelton. Posse came because back in the days, we used to roll in posses. That was crews, that was groups. So it was still Boom Bash, but it was LA Posse, because Boom Bash was the posse. You see what I'm saying? So LA Posse, that's how that was born. And this was before Bigger and Deffer came out, because I think the other LA Posse produced on that, and we were like, oh snap. When we saw that, we thought he was shouting us out. You know what I mean? We thought it was like, oh. But then things started getting a little weird, you know? And this is one of the main reasons I left Sleeping Bag and left hip hop alone for a minute, because during this time, like from 88, after I won the seminar, going into 89, and we already had half an album done, Sleeping Bag wanted us to change our name. And we like, for what? Then we find out that the other LA Posse is suing Sleeping Bag. You know what I mean? Now, originally, Sleeping Bag was just as big as Def Jam until Columbia Def Jam. You know, once Columbia came on board, then Sleeping Bag didn't stand a chance with this and the lawyered up and all of that. So they wanted us to just dead it. So I felt like they weren't supporting us, because you know damn well we was first. You know, I don't care what nobody says, and I'll fight this one to the grave. But because, you know, we didn't have the money to fight it, you know, we had to back up. And at the same time, during all of this drama, Paul C gets killed. So that was it for me, man. That was it for me. I was like, yo, I'm done.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
It would be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the street. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.